You know what?
that you don't. You know what?
Have a song that I will sing.
I know
It has nothing to do with Ted's tips, but I got a song. Whoops.
A song in my head.
The Beyonce song from her new country album.
I listened to it.
I know.
Did you like it?
I did not like any of it. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't bad. She's got a great voice. She's an excellent singer. It's just not, I don't know. It's kind of country-esque, but it's not anything I would listen to.
I'm going to try and pull up one of the songs. That's not it.
I like that. That's a good song. That's a good song.
You know what? That sounds a lot. Yeah. No, I didn't like it. It wasn't my thing. It wasn't a big deal. But you know what? But I'm not going to lose my mind because she won an award. I'm definitely not going to lose my mind because she won an award. Ted, are you okay with it?
Yeah, you know, when rich, spoiled celebrities are competing for a trinket, you know, do we really care if someone else's feelings get hurt? You know, someone's going to win, someone's going to lose. You know, they're still walking away all multimillionaires, so it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right.
It's called Cowboy Carter.
Cowboy Carter.
Yeah,
yep.
Never heard of.
So my sister sent me, after she listened to last week's show, she just sent me a podcast about her making the album Cowboy Carter. So it's about the stuff behind the songs.
Isn't her husband's last name Carter in real life?
Her last name is Carter.
Yeah. That's something. But it was about two guys, or a guy and a girl, talking about the actual making of the thing and each song and everything. I texted my sister. I lasted 10 minutes.
Yeah,
10 minutes. I just don't care. I don't care at all. I mean, if you gave me the I don't know, the history of AC/DC Back in Black,
yeah,
I like the songs, but I don't care at all about
how they came to be. And there was
motivation.
There was actually a Yahoo article about like what AC/DC means, and I loved. I wasn't so curious about it. I just clicked past it. I didn't even look. I didn't even open it. I don't care what it actually means.
I mean, there's
a million
things that go behind
I'm sure it's not like a battery, right? So, or voltage, right? So
I don't know.
This plays in perfectly for you dissecting movies.
Yeah. I don't care.
You
about
just don't care.
He has an attention span of a 2-year-old.
That is untrue. That's untrue. The new season of The Recruit came out on Netflix, and I think I watched like 5 of them in a row. It was fantastic.
How long does each episode last?
I don't know, about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Yeah. But it was nice, and I watched a bunch through, but I don't know, man. It's just, I just there's something about things that I don't care about at all that are hard to deal with.
So real quick, like I'm the opposite, Steve, and I don't watch movies like rarely ever. So, but like there was a stretch where like I was trying to watch Netflix late at night, and I would immediately fall asleep. So if you want to watch like Lord of the Rings when they're like going through Middle Earth, I mean that just knocked me out like immediately. Like 5 minutes, I'm out. I couldn't stay awake. Then one time, I think I got up at like 6:30 in the morning and watched like a series on Netflix. I think it was called Bad Blood or something, and it was like a 6-part miniseries. I watched the whole thing with complete attention to everything, and I think I binge watched like 4.5 hours of it.
Ted,
I was like, wow.
Because at that point you were moderately sober, right? I mean, at 6:30 in the morning, I would guess that's probably the last time of the day that you're sober.
Well, I had my 2.5 hours of sleep, so I was good. I was good to go. So
yeah. Okay. So here, you want to hear something weird? I was listening to a commercial, and in the background I heard a song, and it was Captain and Tennille, "Love Will Keep Us Together," and I played it for Jack. Oh, my God. I can't get the song out of my head now. I literally cannot get that song out of my head. So I played it for him, and then I showed him Captain and Tennille on the thing, and he's just like, he goes, "That's not real."
You played it on your ukulele for him?
On the ukulele, yeah. But he's like, he goes, first of all, that's a terrible song. He goes, second of all, I can't believe that's two real people, that's what they did. And wasn't it a thing? Didn't he not talk? He didn't talk or sing or anything?
No, you're confusing him with Penn and Teller.
He never talks. But no, I thought for sure he didn't talk. No? Am I crazy?
Did he sing?
I don't think he sang. I think he just played the piano. I think that's how it worked.
So he's like a mute. Is that what you think?
I don't know if he is a mute. Hold on. I got to ask this. Steven, you did let that dog out, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay. She's just barking because we're all downstairs in the basement, I guess. Okay. I just want to make sure. It's just going to drive me crazy until I go upstairs and you hear a dog squealing because I've literally kicked it. Right. Yeah, I've just kicked it. We are rubbing off on mainstream media.
Rubbing off?
Yes. Not rubbing one out.
Not rubbing one out. Okay,
yeah.
so.
last week, Gail King from CBS Mornings. You guys ever watch any of these morning things?
I've heard of her.
Okay. She asked one of her guests what her favorite sex position was.
I heard about that. But obviously, it was a surprise to the guest. It probably wasn't.
On live TV.
On live TV. And the guest's like, do we answer that? And I guess one of the producers was like, no. And they just kind of moved on. But I thought, if they're doing that, we have to take it to the next level, right? I don't want to be on the outside looking in or something like that. So I think for our guests, I come up with a couple of questions we can ask. I'm not going to ask about sex positions. It's been done. That's passé. I want to go past that. So I think from here on out, and these are just a couple ideas, and we won't do it tonight, so I don't want to scare our guests tonight.
Yeah,
but
Scott's listening right now.
I'm terrified.
But here's. If you were going to kill someone, what would be your favorite way? Okay, something like that. Or, you ready for this one?
How about when?
When?
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
will you
when.
kill someone?
Yeah,
when you kill somebody.
Right, when. Yeah.
Oh, when.
Sorry. Did I say it? Oh, yeah, I said if. Yeah, I crossed that out. And then the other one was arson or pillage, pros and cons. Yeah, and we'll just kind of, whatever. I mean, if like regular network TV is doing this, we've got to go way past that. So we've got to be bigger and better. So at any point, Ted, if you come up with a question you want to ask a guest.
Oh, I was going to answer your question.
Oh,
The best way to kill somebody.
Are you art? If you.
The guillotine. Yeah, that's a good one.
Wow. All right, raise your hand if you thought Ted was going to say poison. I honestly was 100% sure, Teddy, that you were going to say poison.
I'm just assuming I don't want to get caught. But if I didn't care, if I had if it was like the Purge, and I'm like, if you just had a way to kill somebody, I just go guillotine, because you don't have to worry about the phenobarbital compound. You have to worry about firing squad or hanging. Because you gotta when you hang somebody, you actually have to weigh them, and then you have to figure out how to drop them with the rope from the scaffold so to break. It's it's
Are
complicated.
you guys afraid to be in the basement?
It's
with him
complicated.
You think about this a lot.
It just came to my mind.
Okay.
You realize you guys have
How
never.
is that more simpler than any? I mean,
Yeah.
Well, you have a heavy.
mopping. I mean, just
You
chopping somebody's head off,
You have
lopping
a
her head off.
heavy block with a blade attached. That's sharpened.
What is a guillotine?
Yeah, it's just that.
You don't know what a
heavy-
guillotine is?
No, I know.
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, French Revolution. And obviously it's a little messy, of course, but
Okay.
that's why you have a cleanup crew.
But for you, it's easier.
Well,
Well, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to. I'm going to
Ted, wouldn't
organize.
firing squad involve other people?
Yes.
I mean, if you call Mark and I up and it's like, we're going to go play golf, you're like, before we do, could you guys come over for a minute? Yeah. And when we get there, we're not going to help you firing squad someone.
Of course not. Actually, no. That's still.
I'm literally just saying that I would probably help.
But that's still a way to actually. I think in Washington State, I can't remember what state, or Utah, you have the option of the firing squad.
There's
So
a couple
yeah,
states.
Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that guy who's on trial for killing those 4 co-eds, that he I think they're talking about the firing squad option for him, so they're explaining the firing squad to the jury, like how that would entail. So
if you have to explain a firing squad to 12 people, I feel like they're not going to do a good job of deciding whether someone is guilty or not guilty. Okay? Firing squad. Would that involve shooting a gun at somebody? Yeah. All right, I got it.
This is stupid. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Having a firing squad?
In this day and age.
In
yeah.
this day and age, it does seem pretty
Are they
ridiculous.
using the same space that they used 200 years ago? Or is there a new space for it?
Is there like a designated space, or is it just
There has to be, right? We're not doing it in
Like a
someone's
hole?
backyard.
Ted's backyard?
There has to be like some designated area where this happens. Is it inside? Is it outside? Is it like at a shooting range?
I'm guessing if it's Utah, there's tons of space. I mean, you'd be easier to find
but
places
where?
not to do it than to do it. Anywhere. Don't they have holes everywhere and canyons and yeah, you could just shoot them
I
and leave
would
them.
assume they have like a sandbag barrier behind, so if the bullet ricochets, it doesn't bounce all
What, it
over the place.
bounces and hits the guy again?
And I think
Sandbags?
they actually pin a target on the person they're going to execute. No, they do. They pin a target, and then they have 3 or 4 shooters.
Why would they need a target? They're literally
I
shooting
know.
at the guy.
But then they have 3 or 4 shooters, and 2 of them have blanks, and 2 of them have live rounds.
so two of them can't have kids?
So 2 of them. So it's like so you don't know who's the actual executioner.
So you're explaining firing squads to
That's
everyone.
that's a firing
so
squad.
either Ted knew this question was coming, or he's thought about this quite a bit
Yeah, no.
in every way.
He's an expert in dying. In death, I should say.
He is.
Poisoning, execute. Yes, you are.
You are.
None of us knew anything about how firing squad works, and you knew to every detail how it works. But
That's
you're
true.
not an expert.
Well,
I just
read
Teddy,
it.
I just knew the gun part
Yeah.
and the end result, like
Yeah.
start and finish
Yeah.
point. Yeah, you You knew way too much.
I think it's a rifle, by the way. I don't think
And
it's
you
a
didn't read it
handgun.
in the book.
Isn't a rifle a gun?
You researched it. You researched it.
Yeah, and Ted doesn't know anything. I tell Ted nothing. Yeah, because if he if he would have planned some of these answers. This is off the cuff. If he had time to think about it, I mean, we probably would have been shut down. What is this? 1:58? We probably would have shut down after 8.
If he had to come in here with an idea, we wouldn't have any show. He'd be
Oh, my
blank.
God.
If he had to prepare.
That's true. That is. You know what? That is so true.
If you said, Ted,
Shooting
you
blanks.
cannot go off the cuff. Everything has
Shooting blanks.
everything has to be prepared when you walk in here. There would be no show.
There'll be no, yeah, because when he walked in today, Stephen, what did Ted say when he walked in today about the tip?
I don't have a tip. Where is it? Where's the tip?
Where's the tip?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our guy. All right. Before we move on here, this is pretty funny. Kid Rock and Lauren Bobert were seen together. They got out of a cab together, got out of a car at 3:00 in the morning on the night of the inauguration. Together. Is that like the perfect storm? I mean, as batshit crazy and dumb as a box of rocks. I honestly, I just hope they went up to the hotel room and just went crazy on each other.
Power couple.
Yeah. I really would love to see the baby of those two.
Oh, they're sterile.
What?
They
Shooting
can't-
blanks?
They,
They
cannot
could be in Ted's
procreate.
firing
Those two
squad.
cannot procreate anymore.
Lauren Bobert or Kid Rock?
Both of them.
No,
I
Lauren
think Lauren
Bobert's
Bobert's
not that
got
old.
Lauren Bobert's got kids, right? From
Yeah,
what-
she's not that old.
Yeah,
Isn't she in
she's-
her
No,
30s
I'm
or
not saying
40s
they're
or
old.
something?
They should be sterile.
Oh, sterilized?
Yeah, sterilized,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think Chris Rock. I've never heard of him have any kids.
Yeah, he does. He has.
Oh, yes. Okay. So
Yeah. He was. Wasn't he married to the
married to a lot of
blonde
people.
chicks? No, who's
no Pamela Anderson.
Pamela Anderson?
But that's not who he has a kid with. He's got a kid out of wedlock. Or
That
from
is
an,
disgusting.
From a
I
different marriage.
am outraged. And a shout out to Lauren Bobert. I completely forgot about this, and I was reminded a little while back. She was sitting in her little thing in the Senate, and they had some people from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Organization in the Senate, and she got to ask a really great question. She asked the guy, you ready, if he could shed any light on the excuse me, I'm sorry, on the underwater alien bases that she had recently heard about. And she asked the question in public. It is recorded. I've seen the video multiple times. She literally asked, and he said, ma'am, he goes, whatever's in the paper. That's I can't. If there's something about it on here, that's what we know. That's all we know.
Hang on, let me call Aquaman. Because he knows. If anybody knows, Aquaman knows.
She, you know what? I'll bet you down to $1. She'd probably ask.
She probably said, "Okay, we'll wait."
Yeah, go ahead. Go. Is this and Aquaman, right? Not Aquawoman. Yeah, it's good enough for me. Yeah, dude, this is everything about her is the greatest thing of all
Didn't
time.
she switch districts to get reelected? She had to actually go to a different district. Like
I think
her-
she's in the
Yeah.
process of doing that.
Yep.
Yeah, she's switching districts. Yeah.
Because she's a congresswoman, right? So their terms are 2 years.
Yeah.
I believe. All right. Yes.
Yeah, it seems weird. I mean, it seems like you're constantly being reelected. I don't like that concept.
Well, Senate's 6 years, right? 6 years
Yeah.
for a senator, 2 years for a congressperson.
It seems weird. It's just not 4 and 4.
Yeah, and
like
then,
everybody else.
and then lifetime for certain other politicians. It seems so.
Well, do you realize how difficult it is to not be reelected? I mean, it's actually difficult
Yeah.
to not be reelected. All right. Speaking of reelected, this is the Real Three Idiots podcast, and happy National Inventors Day. Yeah. Best invention. What do you think? Best invention ever?
Oh, it's
To
got to
you?
be the light bulb.
Light bulb. Okay. Pretty good invention. I'll go with that.
Probably the iPhone, right? I mean, that's got to be up there, right? Everyone has one of those.
The
right?
iPhone.
Yeah, or just Android phone, iPhone. I mean,
No.
the car, airplane. I mean, really cool stuff like that helps you.
Air conditioner
Okay.
for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Refrigerator.
Yeah.
I like refrigerator.
Yeah.
Yeah, but air conditioner makes places that you.
Toilet's good too.
Okay. You know what? There's, top 10. Mark.
It's for me. It's got to be something travel related, like a car or airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What to get to our relatives faster?
yeah. Just made the world smaller, right? Could you imagine a world without any cars?
No. I mean, think about it, though. In like 30, 40 years, we have flying cars, and somebody will be like, and then they drove around on the ground. Yeah, they drove around on the ground. Yeah. Did they get flat tires? Of course they did. Of course they did. Yeah. If you enjoyed this episode, if you learned something today, please consider following the show, subscribing to your favorite podcast platform, or leaving a 5-star review, unless you're Pete and you can't figure it out.
Yes. Did you guys learn how to do that?
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what? Anybody who's going to leave a review probably knows how to leave a review. And if you don't, just mentally leave it. That's good enough for me. This helps the podcast more than I can say. This allows us to reach more and more people and would mean the world to us. Also, visit our website at Vote for Ted. That's FORE.com. Or just Google The Real Three Idiots Podcast. Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right. We got to get to Teddy's tip because I am desperate to talk movies. Because, no, and for this reason, I used to watch movies all the time. I did.
Yeah.
I used to
I've
watch
watched a
movies
few
all the time.
select movies. I mean, obviously there was some that stand out more than others. I'm sure there's a lot of great movies out there.
And I've seen some. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of great movies I've never seen that I kind of regret that. So
I think I've seen a couple of the movies that were nominated this year. At least one. Part of one.
Well, part of it is how would you ever know what movie to watch, Ted?
yeah, that's the shame. There's probably some movie out there that's probably a sleeper. I mean, so I've heard this movie, the Brute. The Brute. That's
Brutalist.
Like,
The Brutalist?
Brutalist. Yeah, I heard that's supposed to be good.
It's like
I
3.5
will see.
hours long. though.
Okay.
I
So you
literally
really gotta invest in that.
mention a fucking movie every week.
All
on the
right,
show.
Mark. It's okay.
And you have no idea.
Yeah, I'm just saying that, but I've heard
Well,
that's
he's not going
supposed
to
be
watch
good,
those
so-
movies. You already talked
not?
about it.
Yeah,
He
we
knows what's
talked about
happening. Yeah.
I never give the movies away.
Yeah.
No, you don't. You don't.
Ever.
I do sometimes if I really like it. I get really close and get excited. And Mark's like, I don't want to give it away. I'm just like, the guy did it. You know what? Tom Cruise lives. Tom Cruise
Yeah.
lives.
Again.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's a good question. I've never seen the end of Maverick Top Gun. I'm assuming that he fights the bad guys. He helps out and fights. Is that
But
right?
you turned that movie off.
Yeah, I knew exactly what was going to happen. It was the most repetitive. I mean, it was the most obvious thing of all time. He walks into a bar and he meets the bartender that was there 20 years ago. I mean, that's how it starts. That's how it starts. The bartender he sees, who's exactly his age,
They didn't get-
That's not
is
her.
the
That's
woman.
the bartender's daughter. She was the daughter.
But they're the same age.
No.
Yeah, but okay, he knows. He walks into a bar, and the first person he sees is a person that he knows from 20 years ago.
She never got promoted. The whole time she didn't get promoted to bar manager.
Her
Or,
mom owns the bar.
I'm just surprised.
Ted, unfortunately, her character had maxed out her knowledge and her ability. Yeah, that's one of those things. Like when you see you see a movie with like the world's greatest bartender or whatever, and you say to yourself, okay, and then they moved on to what? It's like, well, they didn't. That's it. They've maxed out their abilities.
So you stop watching a movie as soon as you know how it's going to end or think it's going to end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't. 'cause
I mean,
he
did
can't-
it end that way? Did he?
I'm not going to spoil it.
Did he teach the people to do it, and then they needed him to also do it at the end, and then he beat some bad guys? Did he fly upside down, or did he do something like that? I mean, is that how it ended?
It's a good ending.
I might want to see
gonna
that.
put it
I might
down.
want to see the movie. So
It's a
yeah, don't
fantastic
don't
ending.
give it away.
Okay.
Don't give it away.
So, and it's cliche, but seeing it in the theater in IMAX was a lot better. And I know you've probably heard that from people before. Like,
No,
go see it in the theater. But specifically with a movie like that, it was much more impressive.
All right. Well, let's not get.
All right.
I don't want to get into this right now. We'll talk movies right now. We need to talk tips. And Mark, you did not bring a song today.
Correct.
Okay, so I'll just
My
sing.
dog ate it.
I'll just sing. Captain and Tina, love will keep us together. Love will keep us together. No, I'm not
that
gonna
Ashford
do
and
that.
Simpson
I promise.
song was a good song. That was good too.
Dude, solid as a rock. That is such a great song. We were
It's kind of
we were
inspiring.
watching the Super
It's
Bowl.
kind of inspiring.
All right. I guess I'll just do Ted's sponsor, and then Ted can help someone out. This is a big one, Ted.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a big one. Ted's Tips is brought to you by Bob's Rocks. If you're like us, you never have a rock when you need one. Think about all the times you've seen an awesome streetlight you wanted to huck a rock at, or a bird that is so annoying, and as usual, no rock. Bob's Rocks has small rocks, medium rocks, large rocks, and even extra large rocks. Bob's Rocks has all of your rock needs. So the next time you're standing on a bridge or watching a parade, remember, Bob's Rocks makes everything more fun. Yeah. Our we got. I love our unique people that sponsor for us. All right, Teddy, are you ready?
Yes.
You sure?
Sorta.
Okay. Here we go. Ted, I need some advice. My new girlfriend doesn't get along with her family at all. We've been to a couple of get-togethers and the holidays with them, and it ends in chaos. Yelling, accusations, it's awful. She is very normal all the time until she gets around her family, parents, sisters, cousins, aunts, uncles. She gets really confrontational. They seem like nice, rational people. After an hour, it's a hot mess. I love that phrase. Nothing special sets them off, and it's not one person's fault. I'm thinking about breaking up with her because I really think the whole bunch of them have something wrong with them. Am I overreacting? Nelson, 28, San Diego, California.
Well, hey Nelson, I wish I was in San Diego right now. That's the real tip. But anyway,
Mark, before Ted goes on, do you wish he was in San Diego too?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I've been wishing that since he got here. Yeah.
Thank you. It's good to feel wanted. Yeah. Hey, look, Nelson. Obviously anyone could break up with somebody at any time for any reason. You don't need a reason.
That's it. All right, and moving on.
But I'll just continue real quick. So yeah, there's an expression out there. I think I don't know if I just made this up or this is real, but it just says some people bring out the best in you, some people bring out the worst in you, most people don't bring out anything in you. So obviously with this woman, this girlfriend of yours, for whatever reason, her family just triggers her and brings out the worst in her. So obviously you don't know the whole situation, maybe how she grew up. I'm just going by what your tip says. So maybe obviously they just push her buttons where they just bring out the bad side of her. I guess an easy way to do it would just be maybe spend less time with the family. So, obviously if she has this not animosity, but obviously if her family triggers her, if she's a good girl and you like her, just figure out a way to spend more time with her that doesn't involve her family, which is not uncommon. And, in your mind, if that's a deal breaker to you, yeah, you could break up with her for any time at any reason.
But what if what if Nelson, right? I almost said Scott. What if Nelson, starts saying trigger things?
Yeah, well, that's a different story because he's the one dating her. So I mean, she's not dating her family. So so obviously, so when you go to these holidays, family events, that's not mandatory, right? You don't have to do that. You don't have to go.
But he's saying, what if he ends up doing the things? He doesn't know what it is,
right?
So.
Yeah. So obviously he'd be on her shit list, and then so that probably would be a reason to possibly break up with her. I'm guessing. So if she gave him the same treatment that the family gave her, but I didn't read anything in that tip where the family was saying anything, untoward toward her that could trigger her. It just seems like normal conversation, and she got set off. So
no, he says they seem like nice, rational people.
Yeah.
And after an hour, it's a hot mess.
Okay.
And he says nothing special sets them off, and it's not one person's fault. So it's not even. I guess he's saying it's not even his girlfriend's fault. It's like just something just happens. In their DNA.
Here's the thing, it's hard to articulate this, but human nature, some people are just predisposed to be hypersensitive towards certain other people for no good reason, So like for example, if I told you something, it might come off as benign.
I'll kill you. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, something like that. But if person B said the same thing to you, you might get all bent out of shape. So that's just one of those deep-seated psychological things that obviously I'm not qualified to talk about.
No,
but
it's mostly you.
Yeah,
I'm pretty good with everybody else, Ted.
Yeah.
It's mostly you.
Exactly. Yeah. So someone puts her in a bad mood, a family member. Like I said, obviously she's attaching something deep-seated in her that we're not privy to. So obviously that's not Nelson's problem. But obviously if her treatment to them affects him, if it spills over where she's treating him the same way now, and she can't separate the two, then yeah, that could be a deal breaker where he needs to break up with her. But if she's good with him and he likes her, then yeah, maybe there's just a way to just work around it where you don't have to hang out with her family all the time. So
it sounds. I don't think it's an issue of hanging with the family. It sounds like there's a time bomb in the room, right?
Yeah,
just get out before the fucking bomb comes off. So if it's like an hour of these people together, and it's coming, 50 minutes and you're out the door. We have to leave. Make an excuse to leave. You made the visit. You made the effort. You showed up, right? Get the hell out of there before the time bomb goes off.
So synchronized watches.
That's it.
Yeah.
Honey, we got an hour before
48
it's
minutes.
a hot mess.
Or
Right?
or small doses, like Mark said, hit on the head. 30 minutes. So we're going to be here for 30 minutes, in and out. It's
because we know what happens after.
Yeah, it's like SEAL Team 6. Just get in, get out, right? Just pay. Give your
Because what's happening.
Respects.
They do all don't get along for some reason or another, but they can get over it for they could put up with each other for a certain amount of time, and then they can't hold it.
I'm trying to think if there's somebody that like sets me off.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
there, you know what?
yeah.
There is a guy.
Yeah, who just he's like, for example, if I said the same thing as this guy did, but like for whatever reason, this guy, the way he just presents himself. I'll give you an example. Didn't you say you golf with a guy who was a good golfer, but for some reason, his mannerisms just.
Yeah.
It just rubs you the wrong way.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yep.
there you go.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
That's the same analogy with Nelson. Yeah. So, but like say another guy did it, it'd be like, okay, you're cool with it, but for whatever reason, this guy, just you got hypersensitive. I'm not saying that in a bad way, but yeah, he got in your psyche. He rented some free space in your head, and yeah.
So there's a guy. Mick and I were hanging out all the time, and there's this guy Steve Luttrell, and
I know Steve.
yeah, and he's just a dick to me. And and I keep telling Mick, I kept telling him, I'm like, this guy he's really, really nasty to me every chance he gets. And he's like, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And it's always like everybody leaves, and then him and I are talking. And I'm like, hey man, how's softball going? Or, how the kids? And he's just like, yeah, what the fuck you care? But it wouldn't even be that obvious. It would just be like really diggy. And finally, I was like, all right, man, I got to get this in there. So I finally got Mick to like the one of the last times, and he's kind of walks away but starts listening in, and he hears it, and he comes over. He goes, yeah. He goes, he does not like you, because I kept telling him, I go, Steve hates me. He goes, no, he doesn't hate you, man. He goes, he's just kind of sarcastic, and I go, no, it's not sarcastic. I mean, he truly hates me,
and that's a real thing. So some people, for whatever reason, and here's the thing: you don't need a reason. People just don't like certain people, when they see them initially. Like they don't need any background. They don't need a reason. They don't need any triggers.
I think he had plenty of reasons not to like me.
Yeah. Okay. So
I think
is that because you insulted him continually?
I could have.
In this situation, there is a lot of background though, because it's her family.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, is it taboo? But has he talked to her about this? Because that's what I would say is like, hey, maybe at some point before you get to breakup stage, if it's headed that way, the conversation might be good, and maybe he's past that point, and that's why it's it's coming to Teddy over here. But
yeah, it could have been. You just walk in and say, what the fuck is wrong with you and your family?
Yeah,
what's going on?
And here's my last. These guys gave great feedback. I would just say, if she's hot, just keep her around as long as possible.
That's Ted's answer to that. Is Ted literally
just give her a longer rope? It's okay. It's going to be all right.
And see, you know what? Now this is why
just cut it out.
This is why I want to ask our guest this, and I'm always interested when we give a tip and our guest is listening, and I always think about like do they get do you get along? So Scott, do you get along with your family, or is it a giant horrible shit show when you guys get together?
Let's see. No, we get along. I think that we're kind of the kings and queens of you get along to each other's face, and then after people leave, you kind of I don't know, do an autopsy on the get together and what was discussed and everything, and so maybe the bashing takes place behind closed doors.
Oh, Mean Girls. Okay, I like it.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's a Southern thing, the Southern hospitality. Everybody's friendly to your face, but it doesn't mean that they may not have other thoughts afterwards.
Oh, see, and I'm a Northern guy, so. Yeah, I'm just kind of a jerk all the time. So yeah,
I like this. I think this is a strategy for Nelson. He says, "Hey, like we can do this after. We'll get in the car, and then you could just yell at me about all the things that everybody else is pissing you off about, and then she's good."
Yeah, but then you got to take all that.
Well,
do you really want to? I mean, after a while, do you want to listen to all that? All right. Family stuff always freaks me out. It really does. It really does. Okay. Our guest this week writes for Forbes.com and is the current president of the Southeastern Film Critics Association. Please welcome to the show, film critic Scott Phillips.
Welcome.
Well, hello.
Thanks for being here.
All right, so I think let me see if I can do this right, because I know there's a trick to this. You have been reviewing films for almost 40 years. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm guessing in your business, you don't do it by years. You do it like this. You have been reviewing films for 8 Friday the 13th movies long, or since Timothy Dalton was James Bond. Does that sound accurate?
Yes, that does sound accurate. That's a really cool way to put that. I actually remember the very first film I ever reviewed. So,
what was it?
It was Wes Craven's The Serpent and the Rainbow.
Oh, yeah.
1988, I think. And I was writing for the student newspaper at the University of Georgia. That was my first ever written review.
Oh, I know I've seen that one because I think I've seen all the Wes Craven movies.
Right?
Oh,
Nightmare on Elm Street, right? That's Wes Craven, right?
Was it? I don't know.
I think so.
I don't know. We can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. That is awesome. That is really cool. Okay. This is something that's I was kind of thinking about. Besides you, who is your, like, to you, the greatest movie critic that you, like, that person that you kind of emulated yourself on? Because we had Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert.
Yep.
And
Yep. Absolutely.
Oh, did everybody? Everybody had that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They were national and everywhere. That at the movies, played on public television stations everywhere. As a kid, I would watch them, and that was where I'd find out about foreign films and things that weren't just playing at your local theater. I would say Pauline Kael, who is a famous critic from yesteryear. I really like her. Siskel and Ebert, of course. Today, I would say David Ehrlich at IndieWire is a big favorite of mine. I think David's just got brilliant insight into films, and he's probably 10 plus years younger than me, and I think much better at this than I am. So I have heroes past and present when it comes to film criticism.
So Scott, what do you think like differentiates someone in this field? Because I was thinking about this as you were coming on, and just you've obviously had a great career, and something I'm curious in is just how do you say he's got good insight and he's way better than you, but I just kind of like to hear your thoughts on why or how you differentiated yourself too.
Sure. I think that a really good film critic gets away from the general and can get to the specific. And so just saying so-and-so was amazing, or so-and-so gave a great performance, or something like that, that's something that film fans do after every movie. And so I think being able to dig maybe into the themes of the film, and especially to place it kind of in the context of movies that have come before. And so to me, good film critics can say, yeah, I think they're kind of treading the ground that existed back in the 1950s with this movie, or the 1970s with this movie, and they can kind of put it in context. They can compare stylistic elements to other filmmakers and cinematographers and things like that, and so they can give you this real kind of holistic look at a movie and just kind of how it fits out there in the overall world of cinema, rather than what I refer to as a checklist review. How was the screenplay? How were the performances? How was the score? And it's kind of like you just go down this list of things. And so that's just, a terribly generic way, I think, to review movies.
So do you get together with your buddies and here's what I'm thinking. Like the new Fast and Furious movie comes out, and you guys just get together, and you've had, like, I don't know, 8 other ones or 9 other ones. And now you just say, what was so much better about Fast and Furious? Are they on 10 or 11? 10?
There's a lot of them.
I mean, do you do that? And you're just
Yeah.
or I mean, it's got to be so much fun. I mean, especially with something as great and as differentiated as a movie like Fast and Furious.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we have a good time. I'm kind of a purist where I'm like, I think the first one's really great. I think people forget just how unlike the subsequent movies the first one is, and it plays like a really cool kind of crime film kind of. And by the way, I remember that it was Fast 10. Because the PR reps were telling us that it's supposed to be Fast 10, not Fast X. And so it's the Roman numeral of 10. So yes, the next one will be 11, because I remember the notes on that where if you do any kind of video or audio, please refer to it as Fast 10 and not Fast X. But it's funny because my friends know that I'm into a lot of stuff that they're not into. And so when I invite them over, like, hey, let's have a movie night, they will literally ask me, because they know me well enough, hey, Scott, are we going to watch like one of your movies, or like, are we going to watch something good? And so I'm like, well, fair enough. Fair enough. If you don't want to kind of push the boundaries of what you might be interested in watching, I can certainly pick out something that everybody will like. And so I get what they're saying. I just like to kind of push people to try things they might not otherwise try.
So you did make your friends watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey?
Oh, no, but I have to tell you, when I found out, of course, because my initial reaction was, how can they do that? And then I realized, oh, yeah, we've got some public domain stuff now floating around out there that they can do what they want with. And I see that we've got one coming that I think is Popeye, like a homicidal Popeye.
Yep.
Because some aspect of that is now public domain. And so, yeah, you gotta hand it to the people who are thinking outside the box.
So as soon as these things come public domain, they just instantly become murderers. Like there's no other. Like why is it just? Why are they just killing people? You have the story now.
Yeah,
you have
that is the good old fact that horror is kind of the easiest thing to do on a low budget, and so that is why that happens. I would assume.
Oh my God!
Which is bad for truly great low budget horror films to have to be considered to be kind of shoulder to shoulder with those kind of movies, but so be it, I guess.
That is funny. Okay, so there's over 1,000 movies made every year. Okay, I
Right.
saw this. The average budget is $45 million for a single movie.
Wait,
All
what's
right?
the stat again? There's over 1,000.
There's over 1,000 movies made
Okay.
every year. Okay,
Right.
But as the tech becomes better everywhere but here, are non-major companies and groups making better movies that we're seeing, not just necessarily murderous cartoon characters, but yeah, I mean, is it equaling out where you can get something good from something much smaller?
Yeah, and it is, and I think the biggest problem that you have in the marketplace is those things just getting lost in the shuffle because of the fact that there are so many movies. The question becomes, how do you make a movie that actually gets noticed? And so you can have lower budget films that are high quality films, like good films, but nobody's ever gonna hear about it because it's lost somewhere on some streaming service that nobody subscribes to, or it's only VOD and it's at the absolute bottom of the roster of things that you can find because it's not in their top 50, things of that nature. But yeah, well, I mean, like Steven Soderbergh made that film Kimmy. Did y'all see that? It was a thriller that he made for HBO, and it's actually quite good. It came out during the pandemic. He made that for like $2 million. So it's certainly possible to make something that's worth watching at a low budget. I just finished watching lots of films for Sundance, and of course that's kind of the home of high profile indie films. And so a lot of those films have a shoestring budget and are good movies. But the biggest question becomes, everybody sees them or everybody in my business has them brought to their attention during Sundance, and then some of them just disappear for good. I write a best films of the year piece for Forbes every year, and I always have to leave out a couple of my absolute favorite films that I saw that year because they didn't get distribution, never got picked up, and can't be found anywhere. Wow. And nothing's going to irritate somebody more than to have me say, oh, my number one movie of the year is blah, but sorry, you can't find it anywhere or see it.
That would piss me off.
Yeah.
That would be pretty bad.
Yeah, so I just have to leave those off the list. So it does happen.
How many movies? So when Matt said about 1,000 movies are made every year, I was doing some research and looking at the amount of movies that are actually remakes, whether they're recent remakes or remakes of movies that were really popular 15, 20 years ago, or movies that were made in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. There's so many movies that are remakes that people don't even realize are remakes. You know,
Sure.
like whether it was a remake of an American film or a Japanese film or an English film or whatever. Like The Departed was based on, I think it was an Asian film, right? Originally,
Absolutely.
And they,
Infernal Affairs was the name of the
That's
film
right,
that
yeah.
it was based on. Yeah.
so what do you do as a critic when you have to actually? I mean, you would know before anybody else if it was a remake, right? And then how do you approach that? Do you just this original was made in 1939, but this is totally different? I mean, how do you feel about remakes in general?
Yeah, I totally try to judge the movie just on the movie that I'm being presented. But of course, you can't help if you saw the original at some point, comparing the two. The one thing that I find interesting is that a lot of times the American films kind of soften stuff. I have seen some foreign films that have some pretty harsh outcomes. I mean, end on a super downbeat kind of note, and then you go watch the American remake, and they've given it a much happier ending, or at least a much less bleak, nihilistic kind of ending. And I'm sure that it was studio notes of, oh, no, we can't have all these people like die at the end or whatever. We're not doing that. Come up with a different ending. And so the script gets punched up to change the ending. I'm trying to think of, this is terrible that I can't remember the names. It is that James McAvoy movie that came out last fall, where a family's going to go on vacation with another family, and then things turn really ugly. And that is based on a film from, I think it's Norway, maybe Denmark, that I saw at a film festival. That, you want to talk about dark and bleak. I mean, I found it brave. I thought, wow, I can't believe they're going where they're going. And so, of course, when they remade it in the U.S., they totally changed the ending and totally copped out on the heavy-hitting ending. So you can't help but, when you're reviewing it, think, man, I just kind of really admire the balls of the person that made the original version versus the lukewarm, watered-down remake.
Speak no evil.
It does impact your thinking.
Speak no evil.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So we got this handy thing that I think the older gentlemen in the room probably don't leverage very well, the phone. But actually, I do have a question about this because just curious what you think. So have you heard of the app Letterboxd?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm on there.
Yeah. So it's a pretty cool just general movie app. People can write reviews. Really good for tracking things. It's really cool because I can look up actors, directors, things like that. So as Scott was talking, he was mentioning the movie. I'd never saw it. I didn't know it existed, but could look it up real quick.
Letterboxd.
Yep. And you can follow people.
Social media for film fans, and it's restricted. It's not going to be pictures of people's pets and what they had for dinner and all of that kind of stuff.
Yep.
It's going to be solely discussion about movies, logging what you've seen recently. And then the idea is that you find people who like the kind of stuff that you like. And so you go, I wonder what so-and-so's watching, and maybe get some ideas of what you could wind up watching that night. And if we're talking about apps, there's one thing that I'll mention, I'll add to the discussion, which is, have you guys ever heard of Just Watch?
No.
Nope.
All right. A lot of people will be like, a movie comes out, and then the usual, 4, 6, 8 weeks later, they're trying to figure out, I wonder if it's on Hulu. I wonder if it's on Netflix. I wonder where it is that I can catch it. Just Watch is an app where you can put in the name of a movie, and it will pull up every streaming service that offers it in one place. So you don't have to go log on to Hulu and look, log on to Netflix, look, log on to HBO, look. And you can even, if you'll take the time to set it up, if you come across a movie that you really want to see, you can put it on a watch list, and it will let you know when it shows up on a service that you already subscribed to. And so it will literally send you an email that says,
Brilliant.
Hey, Nosferatu is on Hulu or whatever. And you'll know that now you can see it on something that you're already paying for.
Well, you just brought something up I wanted to talk about, Nosferatu.
Oh,
So
love
I
that
saw.
movie.
So there used to be a silent film festival near my house at the Copernicus Foundation, and they did the original Nosferatu in the theater with a piano player and everything.
Nice.
Blew me away. The movie was
Yeah.
freaking phenomenal. And then I think it was around that same year the William Dafoe movie came out with
Winona Ryder, right?
no. With oh my god, a Chicago actor was in it too. Played the director in the movie. But
Right, Kiss of the Vampire.
That's
right. Yeah,
With,
he's playing
John
Max
Malkovich,
Schreck, the
yeah.
guy who played Nosferatu.
Yep, phenomenal. So I saw the original, and then I got to see that movie and get kind of
Yeah.
like a fictional backstory, sort of historical
Right.
fiction. It was amazing, and now they're remaking that movie again and again. They remade it once more, but no, that was
Yeah.
phenomenal. Do you ever watch like that type of film, like silent films, or go back and?
Oh yeah. I'm a huge fan of Charlie Chaplin, Harold Lloyd, a lot of silent film folks, Buster Keaton. Some of that stuff is just absolutely amazing. And with Nosferatu, that's F.W. Murnau, the German filmmaker, which it's pretty fascinating, really, the story behind that, because he essentially stole from Dracula, the Bram Stoker novel, to make Nosferatu back in 1922. And Bram Stoker's widow sued him and won. And the court order was that all of the prints of the 1922 film were to be destroyed. But one of the films had been sent to a film festival in America, and the U.S. curator of that film festival said, I don't answer to a British court. I'm not destroying this film. And the only reason that we have it today is because they refused to destroy the final print. And so that is why that movie still exists. But Werner Herzog remade it in the 1970s, and that's a really good version. Klaus Kinski plays the vampire, and that is some gonzo a version of it. But and then of course we got Robert Eggers' version that came out over Christmas, because nothing says Christmas like vampire sex, I guess.
Yeah.
So anyway. So there you go.
I think that's when Bram Stoker's Dracula came out too, around Christmas time originally, back in like '92 or whatever.
Actually, I think you're right. The Coppola version.
Yep.
I totally ignored that. You're right.
Oh man. Okay, so I want to talk about war movies for just a second, because the first 15, 20 minutes of Saving Private Ryan literally ruined. I can't. Here's the thing: if Arnold Schwarzenegger is throwing a skill saw at 10 guys. Okay, and making, I'll be back and saying all those things, I can handle that kind of violence. Saving Private Ryan and Black Hawk Down, I can't watch war movies anymore, because it's just that realistic violence is just too much. Do you get desensitized to that, or is that something that you can look past when you're watching these things? But it's so awful, and I just feel like it's just too much for me.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. And no, if it is presented that realistically, you could almost smell, the burning, wreckage or what have you during that beach of Normandy invasion. And so if it's done that well, yeah, it gets to me just like it would anybody else. Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket. Yeah. Any of the ones that are just designed to be these just gut punch war movies really kind of makes, I don't know if you saw Force 10 from Navarone back in the early 80s.
Yeah. I love that.
Things like
that Telly Savalas?
Yeah, they're like these little, jaunty war movies compared to heavy hitting war films like that. And so gory horror movies and things that are over the top and just clearly kind of done just to be gross out movies. I just saw a really fun movie last night. I got to go to a critic screening of The Monkey, which is the new adaptation of a Stephen King short story.
Yeah, I want to see that.
From back in I think the 1970s, and it's about this cursed little monkey that when he starts playing his little drum that he's attached to, bad things happen. And it's just a splatter fest, but it's it's laughingly so. It's kind of like a carnival ride, and so I thought it was a blast. But nobody would watch the. I mean, the Beaches of Normandy sequence for me was a one and done.
Yeah.
I've seen it and I admired it and I thought it was absolutely incredibly well done and just put you there. But I have not felt compelled to watch it again.
So I have a question on that. Do you think in some cases it's the director or whoever with the intention of making it like an anti-war film where someone would watch it and say, I think this is terrible? Because I think there's a fine line, right? Because like a jaunty war movie gives you the almost the opposite message, right?
Camaraderie and
yeah. So I mean,
yeah, no, I absolutely think that the directors who made the couple movies that I referenced, Kubrick and Spielberg with Private Ryan, I think there's definitely an effort on their part to like you say, kind of de-glamorize this idea of I'm going to go, die a hero's death, or I'm going to go do whatever, kind of heroic thing, and showing you the actual, kind of blood cost of things like that. And so I feel like Platoon did the same thing. That was one that I don't know, I was probably 17 or 18 years old, I would guess, when that movie came out. And that movie disturbed me for days, thinking that people who were essentially my age a couple decades earlier had been in the midst of all of that. If a movie can traumatize you, that one did for a while. And I think that was certainly Oliver Stone's point. We're sending kids out there to do the bidding of these politicians, and we shouldn't take it lightly.
So we could probably move on, but just a quick take on Civil War. Did you get a chance to watch that? I think it came out last year.
Yes, yeah, I did. I did.
So I mean, it falls in this category, and it was interesting because it was a movie that I walked out of with my family, and I loved it, and mostly everybody else was like, I don't know what that was about. And I think, I don't know. I think there's different takes on it, but it was very real. And, I saw it in IMAX and I was like, that was terrifying in a very real way. And I think it had the same effect. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree that scene with Jesse Plemons' character was just absolutely
terrifying.
Chilling.
Yep.
And, and so, there were times that was a movie that kind of had me antsy throughout almost the entire movie of just wondering what in the world is about to go wrong. And so very tense.
Yep.
Oh man, see, and now I'll bring it to that point because the last movie the last movie I saw was King Kong vs. Godzilla 2.
Okay.
In the theater.
In the theater.
Yeah.
Oh, you went in the theater.
In the theater.
That's good.
Okay.
Right.
And I will tell you this, I loved every second of it, and I had only one problem with it, that the people in the theater just they're not quiet. And I can't. It's hard for me. I'm like hypersensitive to it,
Yeah, so
and
am I.
it just bothers the shit out of me. How do you? I mean, do you go to movie theaters, right, to see this?
Sure.
How do you deal with that?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like there's almost kind of a pecking order to things. If you go to a film festival, that crowd is totally into the movies. They are a very respectful audience. Their film etiquette is usually impeccable, and so you have a great experience at a film festival, in my opinion. I go to several across the country, and then I do a number of them remotely, thanks to technology these days and apps and portals and all that kind of stuff. I can get access to film festival films without actually having to go. The next one I'm going to cover is actually Glasgow, Scotland, and as much as I would like to go to Scotland, that really isn't in the travel budget, so I'll be reviewing that festival from home. But a film festival crowd is awesome. So if you get a chance to go to a film festival, go, because those folks are respectful and everything. Then, of course, I'm fortunate enough to kind of get critic screenings here and there, like I did last night for The Monkey. And so, we're well-behaved folks who are just there to pay close attention to the movie. And so, but when you're talking about like your, Saturday afternoon matinee at the local AMC, that's become a problem. And it's people who treat a movie theater like it's their living room And so people who are truly into movies start saying, I'd just soon wait 6 to 8 weeks, if even that long, until I can play it at home and just watch it in the comfort of my own home and not have to put up with all of this. I talk with my colleagues all the time about I can't think of another industry where you invest billions of dollars in a product and distributing the product, and your end deliverer of that product is a teenager. and that is part of the problem of, if you go complain and say, look, people are just out of hand in the theater, can't you do something about it? You're probably telling some poor high school kid who's on his weekend job, and they just look at you like, I don't know what to do.
Ask my manager.
And don't get much satisfaction as a result. So, if you want to look for a problem with the theatrical experience, it's probably, you're hiring the cheapest workforce that you can find to run your establishment.
All right, so now I'm going to give people a chance to judge you. Okay, all right.
All right.
In your ability to be a movie critic.
Okay.
And I hate to do this. I hate to ask someone, best movie you've ever seen. But
right.
If someone said, what is one or two of your favorite movies that when it comes on, you cannot turn it off? If you're drunk, it's just one of those things you look for. Like you come home at 2 a.m, you're just like, I gotta turn this on right now. What is some of those movies, or a couple of those movies that's that thing for you?
Okay. Jaws.
Oh my God, I just said that yesterday. I was playing the pinball machine.
Jaws, yeah. I think Jaws is an absolutely perfect thriller with perfect performances and just a brilliant movie. If Jaws is on and I flip into it at any part, I'm like, oh, I gotta see this next part, and then I'm watching it to the end. The Godfather Part 2, I think, is probably my favorite movie of all time. I would put Goodfellas up there. That's another one that I think is just brilliant. And then to get foreign filmy on you, and I may name one here that none of y'all have ever seen, which I totally understand. There's a movie that came out in 2000 called In the Mood for Love, and it's by a Hong Kong filmmaker by the name of Wong Kar-wai, and I think that is the best movie of the 21st century so far. And it's not, I'm not going out on a limb saying that. It's often in people's, say, top 5 or top 10 of the 21st century, but I think his movie's just absolutely genius.
4.4 on Letterboxd.
And so I have quite a few, but I will admit that it can kind of vary. You can rewatch something and go, oh my God, that's just one of the greatest movies of all time.
What's it called again?
So I joke with people and tell them it depends on what day you ask me, right, as to what my list will be.
Okay, and I've got two that, and it's weird. One probably makes sense. The other one doesn't.
Okay.
Shawshank Redemption.
Okay, I hear that a lot.
I can't. I physically cannot turn it off. And then Running Man.
Oh yeah, the Schwarzenegger movie.
Yeah, I just
they're remaking it, by the way.
It comes out this year. Glenn Powell.
Yeah, and that drives me crazy to think that they're remaking it, but I think they're going to make it. They said they're going to make it like the book, which is nothing like the movie at all. Yep. So nothing like that at all.
I think it's Stephen King's story, right?
Yeah. It's basically called The Long Walk. Yeah. I mean, and I've read. It's funny that you mentioned Monkey Man, because I think I've read every single Stephen King book that there is to read, and I can't think of something I don't like. And it's he's a genius. Yeah, and it's difficult to watch some of the movies because they're just so inaccurate, or they leave out so much of that stuff. And before we get to the Oscars, I'm going to bring this up. Are some of the things that they can do with streaming, making long series, and putting in all that kind of detail, is that one of those things that is possibly going to hurt movies, because we can get that extended, great actors, great producers, great directors that are going to kind of ruin, even though you get 2 hours or 3 hours or 7 hours, whatever it could be. I mean, is that going to wreck that?
Yeah, it is interesting the way that I can name quite a few of my favorite filmmakers, and then how they got seduced away from making movies to making TV. And so earlier I mentioned Steven Soderbergh, and he announced probably 10 years ago, I'm quitting making movies. And then he wound up making that 2 seasons of that TV show, The Nick, which I don't know if you've seen The Nick, but it's about the Knickerbocker Hospital in New York, New York, at the turn of the 20th century. So it's like 1900, 1901, something like that. And Clive Owen is playing a doctor at that hospital. And so Steven Soderbergh quit making movies, made 20 episodes of The Nick. He shot it, he edited it, he directed it, he did all of it because he could get the funding to have a big vision like that as a TV show, but not as a movie. Wong Kar-wai, who I just name dropped with my In the Mood for Love pick, left making films and has made a 30-episode television series over in Asia that hasn't been picked up by anybody over here. And so my literal favorite filmmaker has probably spent the last 5 years making something I can't even see. And so it does happen. And, David Fincher, the guy who made Seven and Zodiac and all of that, wound up defecting to Netflix for a while and made those 2 brilliant seasons of that show Mindhunter.
Oh, Mindhunter's great.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Oh, that was so good.
And
so then he stayed on with Netflix, quit making Mindhunter, but made the Michael Fassbender film The Killer. And
I like that too.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So I mean, they're seeing that we can get the budgets and the stars. I think that's something that's probably what, in my opinion, has changed the most. Is used to, if you were an actor with quotation marks, you were in movies and you weren't in anything else. And matter of fact, you didn't go to TV, or your brand was just done. You wouldn't make a movie again. And nowadays, the acting talent is going to TV and making television series. And to use Stephen King as an example, The Outsider would have been a Stephen King movie 20 years ago. And instead, it became a 8 or 10 episode HBO show with Jason Bateman and Ben Mendelsohn and Bill Camp, and man, it was just absolutely loaded. And what a great show! So you're definitely seeing the fact that there is no stigma. You're not slumming it if you're usually a movie actor making TV.
So I need you to defend me here, Scott, because you mentioned.
Okay.
In the Mood for Love being probably the best film of the 21st century, in your opinion. I said it was Babylon, and Matt gave me grief for it because it's a 3-hour movie. But I thought Babylon blew me away. I finished watching that movie with my wife, and I said, this is probably one of the greatest films I've ever seen in my life.
I love Damien Chazelle, who made it. I thought Whiplash was an absolutely brilliant movie. It was strange with Babylon because I thought the movie was so much better than people gave it credit for. And I don't know what he did to kind of just earn an automatic kick me sign when it came to that movie. But it was just like it became the thing that everybody just had to bash it, that it just wasn't good. It was excessive, what have you. And then when I finally caught up with it, I was a little bit late seeing it. I missed the critic screening for it. And it was one of those end of the year kind of releases. I thought it was surprisingly good. I mean, I expected a piece of garbage, and from the way people had talked about it, and I thought that it was quite good.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I told my wife, I'm like, this movie has everybody in it. It got mediocre reviews, and then it just went away. I'm like, what?
Right.
And then we watched it, and I said, what the hell?
I like
this is
it.
one of the
I
greatest
saw it,
movies
I
I've ever
liked it.
seen. I don't understand this. But I think time will be kind to that film. I think
I do too. I think that's
time,
one
yeah.
I agree. I think that's one that will get rewatched down the road, and people will say, "Why did we dump all over this when it came out?"
Yeah, I wouldn't have watched it if Mark didn't mention it in one of his movie mentions, because Mark does our on a show, he does our movie mentions every week. He has something. It might be a little newer, it might be a little older. Yeah, and so that one I actually watched. All right, let's get to the Oscars.
Sure.
All right, coming up in a couple of weeks.
My guy Conan O'Brien.
Oh, is he hosting it?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure he's going to say something wonderfully inappropriate. And people will forget about the movies and then talk about
Right.
that. Okay, or I don't know who's going to hit who this year. I have no idea. I'm kind of, you know what? I might actually watch just to see the violence. You know, yeah, just to see that. But okay, so there's a bunch of movies coming out, and I know that everybody likes Ted. Ted talked about it, The Brutalist. It's 3.5 hours long. It's about an architect. It has Adrian Brody. Did they actually name it that after all of this happened? Did it have nothing to do with the actual movie? Just that it would be brutally long to watch a 3.5 hour movie about an architect with Adrian Brody? I mean, help me out with this. It seems ridiculous that there's a 3.5 hour movie.
Yeah. I will tell you this. Have any of you all seen it?
No.
Well, before you get into it, that's another thing I've been struggling with because I've been trying to watch, pretty much get everything on Best Picture, a lot of the other things.
Sure.
There's a lot of these that are just not very available. I mean, The Brutalist was in the theaters around me for a little bit, and then it's been showing at 9:20 for the last 2 weeks. 9:20 only.
Yeah, it's a 3 hour
movie at 9:20. I'm like, what? How am I supposed
That's
to watch
rough.
this? And it's not released until, like, I think the day before the Oscars, so I haven't seen it.
Right.
But it's on my list. But go ahead. That's my own gripe. I just had to get that out there.
Right. I will tell you this, and people laugh at me because they just think of the length of the movie, but I would argue that it should win Best Editing because of the way it just moves. I mean, the one thing that I can say is I didn't feel like I'd been sitting in a movie for 3.5 hours. And to me, that's a mark of a great editing job, especially when it comes to a big epic film like that. It's going to appeal to your traditional Oscar people, the people who think that motion pictures need to be big epics. It's going to be like Giant from Rock Hudson and James Dean, that film from back in I want to say the 60s, I think. It's like There Will Be Blood, Paul Thomas Anderson's film with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, I love that movie.
It's one of these big, men out to accomplish big things kind of films. It was in my top 10. I wrote the top 10 of 2024 for Forbes, and I think I had it at about number 7. I didn't think the ending worked, and so we'll just leave that at that so that I don't spoil anything for anybody. But to me, the film built up to an ending that made me go, I don't really know that those people would do that. And so I found it kind of tacked on at the end, and that was my one big criticism of it. But there is no doubting the production value. I mean, great score, amazing cinematography, great performances. And so it kind of has, people use the phrase Oscar bait, but that to me is for films that kind of aren't worthy of the actual Oscar. So this is very Oscar bait, but very worthy of an Oscar. Brady Corbet, the director, may very well walk home with Best Director. And because the phenomenal thing is, it's a 3.5 hour period film that they made for $15 million. I mean, like, what? How did you manage that? And so, I mean, period sets, period costumes, automobiles, you name it. This is post-World War II, and then covers about 20, 30 years of these people's lives, and they made it for $15 million. I would have thought 150 from the look of it.
Is Adrian Brody the new Daniel Day-Lewis? Because I know he was in The Pianist, and so every time Daniel Day-Lewis farted in the wind, he won the Academy Award or an Oscar. Right? There Will Be Blood, Lincoln, whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So obviously he's typecast as the same type of character as The Pianist. So that seems to be like the win. So is there like a winning formula? I know there's so many different movies, but is there like is there a winning formula? Like if you had to design a movie, if you had to make a movie instead of reviewing a movie, what's the winning formula in your opinion for a plot and period piece? And I don't know if that's too much of a question.
Sure. Well, the winning formula, though I don't know if it'll happen for it, is the Bob Dylan film A Complete Unknown. Yep. You got a hot young star that is going to attract the younger folks. Playing.
He's talking about Timothée Chalamet.
Chalamet,
yeah. Who's going to attract Bob Dylan, the interest of people my age and older, I've seen Bob Dylan in concert a number of times, love his music. These biopic things where people are giving performances as other people seem to win a lot. Jamie Foxx and Ray. Awesome. Joaquin Phoenix in Walk the Line. You just have one example after another. Even on the female side, I mean, Nicole Kidman winning for The Hours, playing a real life, poet back then. And so playing a real person seems to have a lot of clout, evoking that time period like 1960s New York with the arrival of Bob Dylan as a 20-year-old kid. Seems to get a lot of people. So you got period people. You got period setting. You've got a real person played by a popular star. You got music that will attract a whole generation of folks who listen to that music. And it's very well made for what it is. It was just, to me, largely kind of what I expected it to be. It didn't surprise me in any way. But movies don't always have to surprise you. But I think as a populist kind of choice, don't be surprised if that movie does a whole lot better than people are giving it credit for, because of all of those factors.
Yeah, well, I thought Oppenheimer didn't seem like 3 hours to me. I saw that in the theater, and
Yep.
I did.
Another great example.
I walked out of the theater and I looked at my wife. I said, "There's no way that was 3 hours," and it was. It was legitimately 3 hour movie, and it won it.
Yep.
And could this be back to back Oscars with a movie over 3 hours? Maybe, right?
Yeah. My pick and my number one movie of the year is Anora. That is the movie that I would pick. And really, to tell you the truth, most people were thinking that it had kind of sputtered out and wasn't probably going to cross the finish line for Best Picture. And then this past weekend, it won the Producers Guild Award, meaning all the producers voted it the best movie of the year. And Sean Baker, who directed Anora, won the Directors Guild Award. So you start getting into, if all of these different departments within the Academy are voting for that particular film, I guarantee you the betting odds on Anora for Best Picture changed drastically after this last weekend.
All right, so let's, and we'll get back to some movies, but let's talk about voting, okay?
Sure.
There are 10,000 different people that vote in the Academy Awards, roughly. Is that correct?
How many?
Yeah, that sounds right. I'm not really on the awards beat, but that sounds right.
Yeah. And for the major categories, acting, movies, and that stuff, about 1,300 people vote. Is that right?
I thought it was more than that, but maybe not.
Okay. No, it could be. So that's just some of the stuff I was looking at.
Sure.
Here, some ideas. Lou Diamond Phillip, who he's a good actor. I liked him. Lou Diamond Phillips. He gets to vote for the Oscars. Okay.
Right.
Just today, Denzel Washington came out in there's something, and it said that he lets his wife vote for the Oscars. He doesn't vote. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care. He does his thing, but he lets his wife watch. He lets his wife take his vote and everything. I mean, how real are the winners of this? If that kind of stuff is happening, and there's so many people voting, and it's not a real thing. I mean, how upset do I get if the film I like doesn't win?
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely, because a lot of times it is not judging the current film or the current performance. I think, like, for example, Al Pacino should have had 3 Academy Awards by the end of the 1970s.
In his first 4 films.
And he won for Sin of a Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But just, career Oscar. He hasn't won up to this point. That movie was fine, but I hate it that that's the performance of his that won. Even Denzel Washington. I mean, he should have won for Malcolm X, hands down, that year. And so he got a makeup Oscar with Training Day. I think Demi Moore is going to wind up winning for The Substance, but not because she was the best performance of the year, but because she's never won one in her entire career and has this whole career of performances. And so I think it's going to be honor the career. And so, yeah, I agree. I think that, and they mount campaigns like political campaigns these days. Like The Brutalist took off to a great kind of a galloping lead. Everybody was just like, oh my gosh, this just has Oscar written all over it. It's an epic 3.5 hour masterpiece. And then all of a sudden what happens? But somebody leaks the idea that AI was used to enhance Adrian Brody's performance. I promise you that isn't an accident. Somebody in some other camp somewhere rolled a grenade into their tent in the hope of taking out the brutalist and making their film more likely to be chosen. And so these things are very calculated marketing strategies. And so I agree with you. I often find myself on Oscar night going, oh, well, okay, I guess they mounted the best, campaign, because that's not at all the best, whatever the category is, in my opinion. But, it's subjective. So who knows?
So why do I care if AI is being? Well, I mean, I guess for some award it makes a difference, but why? I mean, it's there, it's real. I mean, it's no different than a monster coming in and doing something, and CGI and all that stuff. Why does anybody care about that? Why is that even a thing?
Right. It's become a big political issue among people who make films because it is seen as something that puts people out of work. So whereas CGI created jobs, an entire, special effects VFX companies, and just employs hundreds and thousands of people to do something like CGI, the theory is that AI can replace people. And so that has made it, kind of a boogeyman in Hollywood, say AI, and everybody crosses themselves and uses holy water or whatever because they're afraid that they're going to lose their job to Chat GPT or something, and so that's part of it. I think that was the reason that winds up being the rumor about The Brutalist, is because that's kind of like saying we hired scabs during a strike. That we used AI and somehow took somebody's job, but allegedly the real story is that they used it to enhance the accents a little bit to make it sound more Hungarian, and so then that gets into the question of, well, are we seeing an altered performance? Does Adrian Brody deserve credit for all of that performance if it's somehow being altered by AI? But very interesting comments by a variety of sound editors the very next day after that accusation came out. And they said, wow, you guys just don't understand what we do to dialogue and everything in post-production, do you? We change things all the time, loop in new dialogues, let them do the line reading again, all kinds of things. And so they're like, this is just another form of post-production, and this is much ado about nothing.
Well,
I think that's the reason that AI specifically is because it's just gotten a rep for taking people's jobs.
But I agree with it if it's AI coming in and altering the voices after the fact, or 2 months down the road, like versus Billy Bob Thornton and Swing Blade coming back and doing the voiceover again or doing another line.
Sure.
That's totally
Sure.
different. I mean, first of all, I didn't even recognize him in that film. That's how great he was in that movie. And then for him to talk like that, but then if AI comes in and does something, I do think that's a. But they're saying that they didn't do that, right?
Correct. Yeah. That is what they are claiming, is that it's 100%
that makes
Adrian Brody's
good. Okay.
Performance.
Yeah, you know what? It doesn't matter to me because I'll probably never watch it. I can't imagine. I can't imagine watching a 3.5-hour movie. But.
So here's my question. I'm probably the least movie watching person on this set right now, but so I saw snippets of the Joker on YouTube. I never saw the whole movie, the one with Phoenix.
The original or the second one?
And I know, the first one. Yeah. So obviously, he won the Academy Award or Oscar or whatever. Yeah, he did a great job. And I saw snippets of it. I'm like, okay, he's a mentally ill man dressed as a clown. Ha ha ha. Big deal. I called it amateur hour. And then they came out with the Joker 2, and now he's like singing with Lady Gaga, and I'm just thinking, who thought this was a good idea? I mean, and they were actually shocked that got panned for reviews. So, sir, what's your opinion on that?
Oh no, actually, you sounded just like me. I hated both of those movies.
Thank you.
I thought that to me, anything that is like a one-note performance would not win the best performance of the year to me. And so you're right. I mean, I took the Joker as just kind of act like a maniac and I don't know if you all have ever seen Martin Scorsese made a movie back in the '80s called The King of Comedy.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, I saw that.
But yeah, De Niro
De Niro,
playing the
that's
guy
it.
who's gonna get on like a Johnny Carson kind of show.
Oh yeah, doesn't he?
and
He
have
does his own.
big-
He sets it up in his own apartment, right?
Yes, yes. And if you rewatch that movie, you'll realize that that's all Joker is. Joker is literally king of comedy with the DC character.
Yeah.
And so yeah. I mean, what's his goal? His goal is to get on to the talk show and perform and all this, and even some of Joaquin Phoenix's gestures and head movements and stuff like that looks like it's frame for frame out of that movie. And so yeah, I was totally unimpressed by that one. And when he won the Oscar, I kind of thought that year just kind of jumped the shark.
So I have I have two questions for you off of what Ted said, because I've thought about this before. It sometimes seems like when people play mentally ill people and they're
Right.
playing this almost like extremely chaotic character, to Ted's point, it's just like, okay, crazy person. It does seem to get a lot of just, I don't know if it's maybe not from critics, but just from like general people, like, whoa, like that was crazy. They were crazy.
Right.
And so I've
Right.
always wondered, like, is that something that you're taking into account? Because it often seems like, whoa, the craziest performances are when they're going crazy. And it's interesting. So that maybe that goes to your one note premise there.
Yeah, and well, one time we have friendly little debates and everything, and people will be like, "Oh man, that's so great," and I'm like, "Look, the award is best acting, not most acting." And so what that is just the biggest performance that year, but that doesn't make it good. And so, but I will tell you, my kind of personal preference is quieter. Give me the subtleties, use your face, use your eyes. You don't have to kind of shout, you don't always have to have volume up to 11 to impress me with the emotion of it. And so that's why I say go watch something like Training Day and then watch Malcolm X and tell me which is the more masterful acting performance. I don't think it's even close. But it's all in what got nominated what year. And maybe who hadn't had an Oscar but had been nominated 4 times before, and all of those kinds of things. And so to get back to the original question on awards, a lot of times it feels like it doesn't have so much to do with the individual performance or movie, but everything that came before it. So you never know.
If you as far as crazy, give me Bob De Niro. Cape Fear.
Oh yeah.
How about The Fan?
Yeah.
He was crazy in that movie.
Absolutely.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
His performance in The Fan was unbelievable. But Cape Fear, that's ultimate crazy.
All right, so let's keep on the Oscars, and
Okay.
we're going to get to Amelia Perez in just a second, but I want to do this. I saw some things where lately, like I don't know, last 4 or 5 years, they were talking about how only gay actors should play gay roles. I know James Corden got lambasted in a Netflix movie because he played an overtly gay character, and I know the Whale, the guy who played it,
Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser wasn't super fat. Okay,
Right. Right.
Where does this come in? This is all just pretend. Why are people outraged that somebody who isn't exactly like a character playing a character? How has this become something?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you that I have those same kind of thoughts. I have always kind of linked that to what we were talking about a minute ago with the rise of these biopics and things that have become more best impersonation rather than best performance. And now a few of those, like I said, were transcendent. I mean, if anybody deserved an Oscar, it was Jamie Foxx for playing Ray Charles. That was just absolutely unbelievable. But a lot of times it's just like an impersonation, just bring in Frank Caliendo and let him pretend to be, whoever the person is that you're doing. And, he can do impressions of just about everybody.
Awesome, too.
And so I think what happened was, then all of a sudden we got into this thing where we should be casting people who are like the character themselves rather than letting somebody perform. And so I think that became the thing. And so that to me is where this comes through. Now, I mean, of course, Hollywood is full of examples of like white folks putting on tan makeup and playing, Native Americans. And so you have some that it's like, I mean, God, have y'all ever seen Breakfast at Tiffany's?
I have not.
Where Mickey Rooney plays the Asian landlord.
I have seen that part. Yes, I have seen that.
Oh my God! The thought that there was ever a time that somebody could do that is just crazy. So I'm not saying that an Asian character should be played by somebody who isn't Asian or something that crazy. But I think that like you're talking about, some things that may be more interior to the person needing to be the same as the character, I never have understood that.
That's real, because look at when J-Lo played Selena in the movie, she got death threats because she's Puerto Rican and Selena's Mexican. It was outrage. I mean, she's one of the most popular artists of all time, and then she was murdered, and J-Lo plays her in the film, and she was literally getting death threats because a Puerto Rican was playing a Mexican woman.
Right. Well, it was a big thing when Scarlett Johansson was in Ghost in the Shell, which is based on Japanese anime.
Oh, right.
And so they said, "What are you doing having a Caucasian person playing the lead in this film of something where the lead is Asian?" And I can remember people giving me grief because I said, "Well, can y'all name an Asian actress that can open a movie like Scarlett Johansson?" And you've got a point. But in the end, somebody's got to put tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars behind a project. And if they're saying, I need a bankable star to make this project, I mean, you kind of can't blame them that they're not saying, go find me some completely unknown individual to play this character, because they are more like the character just kind of innately. And so I don't mean for that to sound callous, but I'm just saying that's the realities of the business in some instances.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, it's like, is it a checkbox thing? Because I think that's part of it. When there's nothing wrong with seeking authenticity, and we can talk about Amelia Perez because, like, it's interesting that they did cast a trans woman. But if you're just doing it to check a box, and clearly they didn't do some due diligence on their part in that respect, like, you have just done it to check a box, and you're not seeking some real authenticity that you're looking for. And I think that's where you run into the kind of eye roll of, oh my gosh, like, really they just had to pick someone because of this, but if you're seeking true authenticity, then I think it can be pretty cool.
Well, Lucy Liu can only do so many movies, though.
Okay, so let's talk about Amelia Perez, because whether you like the movie or not, okay, does it make a difference in voting? And I Stephen and I were talking about this before the show. All the awful racist things that, whatever she said, the actress. If this comes out 3 weeks after, does it make a difference in the actual movie? I mean, I know people are voting, but if you thought that was the best movie, just because outside in her real life, she is clearly not a good person, okay, or clearly had issues at that time, I mean, do you vote? Do you not vote for that movie because of that?
Yeah, that's a tough question. I think when it comes to people, like, let's say Zoe Saldana, who's up for Best Supporting Actress, I think she still wins. I don't think that some other castmates' comments negate the fact that your peers think that you are worthy of that award. So I think when it comes to individuals, and this is just my take on this, that she will still win. When it comes to something like Best Picture, yes, I think that it kind of becomes kryptonite, that people are like, I'm not going to vote for that. when there are other worthy pictures that are up and that don't have this kind of scandal surrounding it. But it's easier to turn down just the abstract movie itself for Best Picture than it is to look at somebody like Zoe Saldana and say, yeah, sorry, I'm going to dock you my Oscar vote because of what some colleague of yours went out and said. And so I think that individuals may still win from that movie, mostly her. But yeah, it was troubled in all kinds of ways. I mean, you have a French filmmaker.
This is
making
what
a
I said.
Spanish language
This is what I
film,
said.
yeah, without without consulting. Supposedly there was really nothing about reaching out to any folks with regard to Mexican culture and things of that nature, and so they were just kind of winging a lot of it. And so it kind of got itself in political hot water several ways.
So, off of that, what drove it doing well at the Golden Globes? Like, because I feel like now that this stuff has come out, maybe people have a clarity about it. And
right.
And the take on the actual movie itself is, it just wasn't that good. And I'm just curious if you have a quick take on, what the heck was driving the hype in the first place?
The Hollywood foreign press, the people who vote for the Golden Globes, are a small group. They are oftentimes not really what you might call press by some people's opinions. And then I also think, if I'm not mistaken, that the timing on all this was their ballots were due before all of this kind of hit the fan. And so they kind of, stepped into it inadvertently.
Yeah, they did not
voting for it and giving it so many awards and then having this now be its legacy after the fact. So I think it's probably really just the calendar year more than anything.
Yeah, I was impressed. I was actually, I saw about half, which is pretty good for me, for most movies. I was pretty impressed. Zoe Saldana sings very well in English and Spanish.
Right.
That was something like, I like her a lot. But
yeah,
that was
she's
impressive. Yeah, that was something that was really cool. Now, the part where they're walking through, a sex change clinic, and they're singing about it, seemed to me to be possibly, and now I've seen King Kong and Godzilla. I've seen all of them. One of the dumbest things that could have possibly existed in a real movie, not a fake movie, not like Hot Shots, not Hot Shots Part 2, right? Or Naked Gun 2.5 or whatever. That seemed like the stupidest thing that I had ever possibly seen in my entire life.
Have you seen Everything Everywhere All at Once?
I did not like it. It was just a little weird.
Yeah, okay.
It was just a little weird to me. But yeah, I don't understand how somebody can see that and not say why.
I want to I want to mention something with the Oscars. I had a question for you specifically. So there's a weird thing that I have with Oscars where a movie wins Best Picture, and I get it. It's a separate category from Best Actor or Best Actress. But then sometimes you get a movie where everybody's nominated, but the movie is not. For example, like The Wrestler that came out. With Marissa Tomei and Mickey Rourke. They were both nominated and favorites to win because they'd won Best Actor, Best Actress. They were both nominated for Best Actor and Best Actress, but the movie didn't even hit, and I love that movie, but it was not nominated. And there's other instances like that too, where the whole cast is nominated, but the movie's not, or the movie is and nobody in the cast is. What's a more recent example? Because I think The Wrestler was 25 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of examples of that off the top of my head, and I'm not doing a very good job. But you're right. A lot of people will ask, well, how did you have Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Picture, but then the director isn't nominated?
Right.
That's one of the most common ones. So the guy who got the 2 best performances of the year and made one of the best films of the year is not up for Best Director. And that is where I come back to thinking that track record matters. You see a lot of people.
That's right. You did mention it. Yep.
Yeah. Well, and also to me, what I call the Welcome to the Club Oscar is Best Original Screenplay. What did Tarantino win? Best Original Screenplay. What did Sofia Coppola win? Best Original Screenplay. Jordan Peele, same.
Oh, I love him.
I think Sean Baker is a lock for Best Original Screenplay for Anora. Then the question becomes, but is he prominent enough as a director to win director, and is it popular enough to win picture? And that's where these precursor awards like the Producers Guild and Directors Guild come into play. They won those.
Yeah.
And so the answer may be, yeah, that horse may have legs
So
to wind up winning the whole thing.
how often does your best movie of the year win Best Picture? Because I took a peek at your best picture or your best movies of the year, and Anora's number one, which I agree
Right.
with.
Right.
I loved it. I was unbelievably surprised. I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't
I will
seen
see
it.
it someday. I will
It's
see it
real.
someday.
It's the one thing I'll say is I don't think I've ever laughed so hard in a movie theater, and
Right.
I did not expect that.
Did you see Spaceballs?
Not in a movie
I did.
theater. Not in a movie theater.
I did.
But yeah,
In
so
theaters.
so how often do those line up for you? That you kind of are maybe potentially in lockstep with what other people are thinking.
Statistically, so I'm trying to think, maybe, every other year or,
Okay.
something like that. Occasionally something will catch on that I just, and then I assume that it's something with me. I'm kind of like, really? That film just kind of didn't hit me like that. But okay, if, you say so. And so, but like Oppenheimer was my number one movie of last year when I wrote that column, and Anora is my number one this year. Obviously the years that I have foreign films or documentaries or something like that at number one, that isn't going to happen at the Oscars. But probably 50-50, I would say.
Very nice.
The only time I laughed out loud in a movie uncontrollably was in unison with my brother was Chris Walken's cameo in Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah.
When his whole monologue and then when he delivered that final line, up my ass. We lost it. I think we missed the next scene. That's how great that scene was, and how the end line was. It was unbelievable, and it just went on.
Okay, so I will tell you, that's why I said Spaceballs. At the beginning of Spaceballs, when they just keep showing the giant spaceship over, I mean, I don't know, it seemed like 10 minutes, but I bet it was about 3 minutes where it just keeps going.
Right,
I'm laying on the floor. I'm laying on the floor laughing that they are just, I mean, it's kind of the reason I think I laugh at Family Guy is that it just
Because you are Peter Griffin.
No,
that's why.
because it went so far beyond the absolute ridiculousness. It went past normal. It went right past crazy to past ridiculous.
That's the genius of Mel Brooks, though.
Oh yeah,
That's the genius.
I would
Absolutely.
say. I would say absolutely. Okay, I'm going to give you, before we let you go, I'm going to give you an idea for an Academy Award, and if you could push this with your people, okay?
Sure.
The award for a series, a whole entire series like Friday the 13th or Fast and the Furious or James Bond, some kind of award for we can't believe you're still fucking doing this. Okay? I mean, it obviously it's going to be worded much better. It's going to be worded much better. But yeah, some sort of award where this started here and kept on going.
Do
And
spin-offs count? Because Rocky would be in that category.
so I actually read something. This is crazy. I actually read something where there is a large group of people that believe that there are better films than the original Rocky. That's not even the best one.
Oh wow.
I think Rocky 2 was pretty good. I mean, I don't think it was better than 1, but I wouldn't argue with anybody.
Yeah.
I thought Rocky 2. I saw Rocky 2 in the theater. My dad took me. I
Yeah,
didn't
but-
see Rocky
yeah,
1 in the theater.
I did
but-
too.
Right. But when Rocky loses in Rocky 1, I give it away. Okay? I mean, that's the thing that makes it great, right?
Yeah,
It's not a bullshit movie. At that point, it becomes not a bullshit movie.
But they're almost one movie because part 2 starts right. I mean, they're in the hospital. I mean,
Right.
it's almost like one movie. So I always said it was unfair to call it Rocky 1 and Rocky 2. It's just Rocky. They just didn't want a 5-hour movie.
Well, yeah. But okay,
Make
so
a super cut of it.
oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah.
See,
Yeah.
do you see where this is going? Okay, so can you
You tell Stallone to cut some stuff out of his movie.
Yeah. Can you get this where it's they award a somebody for making all of these movies and even it doesn't even have to necessarily be good, but just continuously doing it. And, like I would say, for no reason. Like
You're
the
right.
Fast
They
and the
should get-
Furious
they should-
movies,
they should get an award for that.
Like
Yep.
they're literally being made for no actual real reason. I don't know what the
Right.
reason is.
And they are doing something that almost nobody else can do. make the same movie over and over and over and over again, like you just said. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is an
Well,
accomplishment. That could be an award.
Saw 11 was due to come out this fall.
That's true. Yeah,
I've never seen one
Or
of those.
Friday the 13th isn't the one where Jason's in space. Okay, now it's getting silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just okay.
Yeah.
We can't kill him. All right,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Well, I would say, and again, I go back to Fast and Furious. They started out robbing trucks to make money. They ended up working for the government and stealing like nuclear secrets or nuclear bombs, or I don't even know what the fuck it is. It was absolutely awesome. There should be some sort of award for just continuously keeping it going.
can we mention Ted's movie? Scott, you got to know the first movie that Ted's ever saw in the theater.
Oh my God.
Ted,
Go ahead, tell him, Teddy.
I spit on your grave.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And then Jaws was the second one. Jaws was the second one, but I spit on your grave.
it's
Yeah,
not a lie. And how old were you, Ted?
whenever it came out in the 70s.
Yeah.
yeah.
So he was like 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Scott, the best part, his mom
Yeah.
dropped him off.
Yes,
His mom dropped him off to
We are
see.
not making this up.
That
We are
movie
not-
had my undivided attention. Well, yeah, I mean, you know,
I'm pretty sure because the porn theater next door was closed, he ended up going in there.
Pee
I was
Wee.
going to ask, what did you tell her you were going to
Pee Wee
see?
Herman takes up a lot of
No,
space.
it was
you
her
know, so-
idea. It was her idea.
wow.
Yeah. She said he needed some real life skills. Yeah, and based on what I know, yeah,
I needed some tough love.
Oh man, Scott, listen, it was an absolute blast
I had a great time.
to talk
Thank
with you
so
about
much.
this stuff. Yeah, and we'd love to have you on again because one of the
Yeah.
things we didn't get to was, and I thought was interesting, character roles that people turned down that other people took. And as I go through all this stuff, like, and one of the things I didn't even know, I'm looking at it right now, and we're not going to get into it, but I had no idea that Will Smith could have been Neo in The Matrix. That he actually physically turned that down.
Wow.
Yep.
So,
I think he verbally turned it down.
you didn't physically? I mean, he was a big guy at that point. But yeah. so we'd love to have you back on and talk some more movies. It was an absolute blast, and we appreciate you, man. It was awesome.
Thank you,
Great.
Scott.
Thank you so much, guys. I
Thank
enjoyed
you.
it.
Thank
All right, take care, and
Y'all take care.
We'll catch you later, okay? Oh, wow. Dude, that... I understand why people want to talk about movies.
Yeah. A movie that we didn't mention on the show. I know we covered a lot of
If
ground.
you say I
but
spit on your grave, I swear.
no, the good, the bad, the ugly. That was like a 3-hour movie that which is with the opera music
Was
in the
it?
background. I think it was 3 hours. Yeah, I mean that was like my ringtone on my phone at one point. But yeah, that was a movie that was like
It's very slow, so it probably seemed like 3 hours, but I think it's like 2.5
But you got
hours.
3 men.
So bad editing is what we've learned. Because
yeah.
No,
But
I mean,
I love that
those
movie.
spaghetti westerns were just those were amazing.
But actually the music
I
in
love
that
them
was
all.
almost like the star of the show. Just the music that when they had the shootout, the Mexican standoff at the end.
yeah,
I mean, that's classic. I mean, so you got 3 men, they're not in perfect, they're dirty. They're in the 1800s. They just want the money. They want the gold, and they're just going to go cutthroat and do whatever they need to do. And you got 3 different characters. You got a guy who's
No, I
obviously
like those a
evil.
lot.
Lee Van Cleef, he's evil. He's the ugly, or he's the bad. The other, Clint Eastwood's the good in relative terms, and then the other guy, I can't think of
I
his name.
love that guy because he's in one of my favorite movies of all time, Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, the ugly. He's the
He's the
ugly.
bad dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's the bad
He just
dude.
has no morals. He's just a pig. He's just a pig. He's uncivilized. But the other two, they're civilized, but they're on the opposite ends of the spectrum. Lee Van Cleef, he's rational, but he's
I actually
evil.
like Hang 'em High better.
Oh, okay.
I do like that too.
Okay. Fistful of dollars. I mean, you can take your pick. So
Yeah, if I'm in the right mood, I can watch those. And like I said, I can turn on. I should have thought of that. One of those
The
movies.
Outlaw Josie Wales.
Here,
Yeah.
So I asked Scott, but
Unforgiven?
What's a movie you can't turn off?
well, for me, this is a newer one, but it's going to be a yearly thing. It's The Holdovers. It's kind of a Christmas movie. Paul Giamatti.
Oh yes,
It-
I remember seeing something.
Really,
I
really
like that movie a lot.
unbelievably authentic. Just, I mean, like, and
How about his
I've watched
eye?
it like 4 or
What
5
is eye in
times.
that
Yeah,
movie?
this stuff is.
I thought his eye was really fucked up, but it wasn't. that was
Mark acting.
no, it wasn't acting. It was whatchamacallit.
They AI'd him.
It's sort of, but it wasn't AI. It's
Special effects.
special effects.
now
Yeah,
I'm
I mean, isn't AI just special effects?
No, but no,
Well,
that's CGI. So now I'm
CGI,
gonna now I'm
yeah,
gonna think
CGI.
now I'm gonna think AI is like everybody's performance is like like he was alluding to, whether it's real or not. Like what if AI can make Adrian Brody's Hungarian accent sound better than it really is? Not that it's real, but just to plant those seeds.
But how does that? But to you,
yeah.
why would you care? You're an end result guy, right? I just want to see
Yeah,
the movie
for sure, yeah. You just
if,
want the
if
best
somebody tells me
performance, yeah.
afterwards that Adrian Brody didn't say any of those words and a
Yeah.
computer did, I would be like this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a great job the computer guy did
It's
to
like
make it look
it's
like
it's
that.
like Milli Vanilli. It turned out they never they lip sang everything, but who cares? We like Milli Vanilli.
Well, here, and I'll tell you this. I walk into Jack's room, and he's playing a video game, and sometimes I can't tell if it's a video game. At what point do we not need people at all, just voices, right? I mean, some of those video games are so real.
Well, now you got the goggles you strap on your head, and I think I saw one guy.
And you're old.
Yeah, he's like standing up. He's just on like a little, like almost a treadmill, and he's just walking, and he's just pretending he thinks he has a rifle in his hand. Yeah, so it's all
What are you talking about?
So
CGI.
This is when Ted gets super
are you
high.
talking
It's called- it's
when
called-
Ted
it's
gets
called the
super
future.
high,
What
he
the
walks
fuck
to
are
his
you
house.
talking about?
Archie,
walks to his
Archie Bunker is called the future. Okay?
Mark, he walks to his house with a broom.
I don't even understand what
And
you were
he's
saying.
shooting bad guys, and his wife and his daughter just get out of the way. They just get out of the way and let him shoot bad guys with the broom. Yeah,
treadmill. Like what? You
Yeah,
just.
yeah.
it's like-
I saw a commercial. I'll get back to you later.
So I do have a quick thought on the AI thing. The problem becomes in the moment it's fine. You're right, end result's fine, but it needs input. So it's taking input from other things. Like you need someone speaking Hungarian in order for that to work. You need people to have other stories for AI to make something up. So in the moment, totally fine. But if if you spend 75 years making movies with AI, you're going to end up with nothing because it's not generating anything itself. So that's where in the moment you're right. Like if that's where it goes, totally fine. And especially if it's just cleaning something up, it's no different. But if it starts generating stuff, and that's what
It already
that's
does.
Well, yeah, it
You
does.
can
But
write a
that's what
book.
they're scared about. That's the kind of the fear
Right,
beyond
'cause
the job replacement.
Matt's
too.
got a book right now. Matt and Ted both have books out.
yeah. Mark got us
you
for
seen him?
Christmas.
Yeah, thank you.
Mark got us for Christmas. AI generated book. He put in the ideas, and it shot it out. It's
252
actually really good.
262 pages. Legit.
Yeah.
It's a legit book.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's. I mean, obviously that's the fear, right? We build robots, they take over, we do all that stuff. But as far as it goes, I got to be honest with you. It's just pretend, and I really don't care one way or another. I know. There's people. An architect might have a problem with a way a building looks, and I don't give a shit. The elevator works. I get to go into my office. I get to do whatever I want. I really don't care how it was done or
God,
whatever.
I wish I could be more like you sometimes.
Not
It's
what?
so simple.
He can't
Can't
make it.
appreciate anything.
He can't make it through a movie
No,
though.
it can't make make
I'm
it through a movie.
too simple. It's too complicated for me.
Wow, look at that beautiful building. Where's the elevator?
We never asked him about Tropic
Do I
Thunder.
have to walk up there? Is there an elevator?
Simple Jack.
No, you know what? I'll tell you
Never
right
go
now.
full retard.
I'll tell you right now.
Never
He,
go full.
he was like every other human on the planet. If you say you didn't like Tropic Thunder, then I don't want to be around you. Yeah, I don't want to be around you. And folks, that sound means
It's time for listener mail.
yeah, it's time. All right, Teddy. Last thought.
My favorite movie of all time, SpongeBob, with David Hasselhoff at the end making the cameo. Just sorry. I'm greatly amused.
Never saw it. Mark. Last thought.
Yeah, same as Ted.
That's impossible.
Nope, that's my final thought.
Okay, Stephen. More creative, please.
Ted, you haven't seen a movie in years. Is that what we're going with?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I want you to watch The Substance, and then on this podcast talk about The Substance.
Okay.
I have not seen
and
it
if
either.
you do that, Ted, I'm kicking your fucking ass. Because
Again?
that would be the first time you ever listened to somebody
Wow.
and did what they asked you to do.
It is.
You know,
But
Mark.
you
we-
ask him to do stuff all the time. You're demanding. Stephen, he said it so nicely.
I say, Ted,
But
do me
you
a
just
favor, can
offered
you
to kick
please
Ted's
shut
ass.
up,
Stephen
Ted?
asked nicely.
And he never shuts up.
when you say you want to kick my ass, that just makes it's just so hot when you say that. You know?
Okay.
This is the witching hour
Wowzers,
now.
Batman. Okay. All right. I will watch it also.
Just be mentally prepared
Got it.
to be
Okay.
disturbed.
Got it. Okay. Got it. I'm gonna check
Okay.
it
I
out.
probably. I mean, I'm going to
It
guarantee.
wasn't a recommendation for you,
Okay.
but
well,
Demi Moore is
Ted
going to win.
Ted is already disturbed. Oh, is this an Academy Award movie?
Oh, it's nominated for Best Picture too.
Okay. If I can find it. All right. So one of the things when he was talking about biopics, the one that jumped out at me that really, and I loved Ray, and I loved Joaquin Phoenix with Walk the Line, but Angela Basset when she did Tina Turner,
That was good.
that was one of those
Dude, how
ones.
about Fish? Lawrence Fishburne playing Ike.
Yeah.
I ain't never hit that bitch.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good
Yeah.
too.
I mean,
Ike
I just
Turner, yeah.
there was
That's
something.
my Ike Turner.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was good.
That movie. I mean, that's when I really decided, like, if Angela Basset is in it, I'm probably going to watch it just because I know what she can do. She was actually, she played the mom in that the Biggie Smalls movie. I think I told you guys I watched the.
She played the mom in
Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah. She played the mom in Boys in the Hood too, didn't she?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, you know, real quick, I didn't mention on when the guest was on, who I thought should have won an Academy Award for something. Boys in the Hood, when the son died, when he got shot in the alley, and then so Ice Cube's the other kid, and then he comes home and tells her that he's dead, and whatever. I mean, that woman, she's a nobody. Like I don't think she's famous for anything, but whatever. I was convinced
Angela
completely.
Basset.
Wasn't it Angela Basset?
Yeah, but she.
Nobody.
That was pretty. That was pretty powerful. And she started punching Ice Cube, but she was blaming because like
Didn't
her
I
face.
just say Angela
No,
Basset?
I didn't know that was her. But I'm saying her.
You just told a story
but
about
I'm saying,
her and Boys.
No,
in the
I didn't know that was her. But I'm saying her favorite son died, and then
This
the
is
one,
like a sickness.
No, but I'm
this
saying,
is like a disease.
But then the son that she doesn't like is left, and then she's just basically blaming him. That this, yeah, I didn't know that was her because it's been years since.
And
I've
you
seen
know
the
what?
movie,
I don't know who the
but I thought
actress was
That
in
was
that.
pretty powerful. I didn't know who it was,
But I know
didn't know.
she might have played Tina Turner in a movie. I don't know what her name is.
She should have won something, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
she should have won something.
You know what? I mean, I feel like a movie like that probably isn't getting any Academy Award.
I know Nicole Kidman's going to win something, and Julia Roberts, but come on, that woman should have won something.
We're not going to get into that. Okay, listen. God, I love when we have guests on, especially just. I mean, talking movies and that kind of stuff is just so much fun, and there's so much stuff in there. Steven, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Since
This is
you've
great.
literally seen more movies in the last 2.5 years than I have in the last 10 years.
And he has a better speaking voice than all of us, which is
all of us, including you and Angela Bassett. And
pretty-
by the way, I
pretty
don't know if you
scary.
know this, Ted. Angela Bassett, I think she played the mom in Boys in the Hood.
she should have.
I
if she
don't.
wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's a scene in that movie.
She turned down.
She should have won something. That's all.
She
that's all
turned
I'm
down
saying.
the role of Mr. Mom in the movie with Michael Keaton. There would have been there would have been one too many mom movies for her.
Oh my God! You are fucking killing me. Okay, next week this is going to be so much fun. Steven, your mom's going to be on the show.
Speaking of moms,
Yeah, we got. You know what?
this is
I don't know if you
crazy.
guys know this. There was a movie. It was about a gang, some gang stuff.
should have been shut up. We should have ended this.
Yeah, I know. We got a mystery guest coming on next week. Our buddy Pete's going to be on via Zoom because I think he's going to be in. I think he's going to be in Arizona, but he's going to help you guys guess our mystery guest, and then she's going to stick around and stay on the show with us and talk about why she is special, and it's just going to be so much fun. We got a bunch of things coming up. I don't want to give too much away, but listen, everybody, love that you're listening. Give us a 5-star review if you can figure out how to do it. It's very complicated. I'm not exactly sure how, and we will see everybody next week.